Hello and welcome to Cascade High School. My name is Lec Zorn and I'll be bringing you all the action as your resurgent Cascade Cadets challenge the Indian Creek Braves in Game 14 of the Indiana High School basketball season. Well, after starting the season 4-8, your Cadets took a big step toward turning their season around on Tuesday in their first home game in 32 days and only their third of the season. 6'5" senior Dalton DuBois was the star as usual, scoring 29 points. But unlike much of the season, he got a lot of help from his supporting players, and the chemistry finally came together as the Cadets beat South Putnam 63-48. Now with 8 games left to tune up for the playoffs, Cascade is trying to keep its momentum going against the Indian Creek Braves, a Class 3A team who enters the game with a record of 9-4, and in their most recent game lost in overtime to Center Grove, the number 13 ranked team in Class 4A. Now, Cascade is led across the board by 6'5" senior Dalton DuBois, who averages team highs of 19.2 points and 6.6 rebounds per game. A distant second in scoring on the team is 5'9" senior point guard Michael Alderson, who averages 7.8 points a game, while leading the team in assists with 3.3 per game. In addition, 5'11" junior Ross Stevenson is averaging 4 points and 2.6 rebounds a game. 6'6" junior Benson Walker is averaging 4.6 points and 3.3 rebounds a game. And 6' senior Chase Western is averaging 4.5 points a game. Cascade's head coach is Chris DuBois, who's 120 and 181 in his 14th season with the Cadets. Indian Creek's head coach is Drew Glinsner, who's 9-4 in his first season with the Braves, and 101 and 76 in his 8th season overall. He spent the last 7 seasons as the head coach at Edinburgh, leading the Lancers to a regional championship in 2012. Well, at this time we'll take a short break for a few words from our sponsors, and then we'll be back with the opening tip-off. Cascade Indian Creek coming at you live next. The Cascade High School Athletic Department simply would not be able to operate without the financial support of our business partners. We would like to recognize and thank them for their generosity. The official health provider to the Cadets, Hendricks Regional Health, Diamond Partners, Bestway Drywall, and North Salem State Bank, Platinum Partners, Allen Irrigation Company, CJ's Pizza, and Dunn Insurance Agency, Gold Partner Endeavor Communications, Silver Partner Electric Plus, Bronze Partner Hankey Photography, and DMH Photographics. Thank you, business partners. Your support of the student athletes of Cascade High School is greatly appreciated. Well, back here at Clayton, we're just a few minutes away from tip-off here in what's amazingly only the 4th home game of the season for your Cascade Cadets. In fact, like I said, like I said in the pregame show on Tuesday, it was not only the 3rd home game of the season, but our first in 32 days. So certainly both the boys and girls schedules have been erratic. The girls at one point this season went 31 days without a home game. So, and I'm glad that our package here on Audio Sports Online has included several road and neutral site games. So we've been able to, avoid going too long without covering, either the boys or the girls. But there's no place like home, and I never get tired of that lovely drive down US 40 to Clayton. I live in the west side of Indianapolis, but I'm originally from Madison, Indiana, down on the Ohio River between Louisville and Cincinnati. And I always enjoy getting to a small community, and, especially one in which the football or basketball game is still the hottest ticket in town. And, I've been covering Cascade for 2 years now, and in that time, based on my observation, Cascade, is near the top in the state in fan support per capita. They get, based on the number of students they have, they get more people at their games than a lot of the, giant schools in Indianapolis. And I enjoy covering those schools too, but, there's just something special when it's a game that and a team that the community just really rallies around, and where it's still the water cooler conversation. And I've just been so impressed meeting a lot of the fans and the parents and the school administrators over these last couple of years, and their dedication to these kids and the program is really great. So I'm really pleased to be, the voice of Cascade Sports, and hope to continue to be so for many years. But anyway, both the boys and the girls cadets teams had, among their best seasons ever in the 2016-2017 season. And the downside was that neither team won a playoff game. And to make matters worse, each lost 2 double-figure scores and has had a hard time replacing them this season. But the girls really, I think, hit their stride, finally came into their own in Game 13 with a very dramatic, emotional win over South Putnam, the team who eliminated them from the tournament last year. And the Lady Cadets, after that, they won 5 of their next 6, culminating with a huge double overtime win at Cloverdale on Saturday. Now, they have lost their 2 subsequent games since then, but with a mountain of mitigating circumstances. I'll get into that later. But basically, they did seem to finally find themselves in that South Putnam game in Game 13. And, ironically, Game 12, excuse me. And it was almost the same story, possibly, for the boys team. And it was in their 13th game of the season on Tuesday, where it's the first time all season where I felt they had really found themselves. They had struggled a lot, and especially offensively, they've just never found any good offense to replace the departed Evan Birch, who's now at Franklin College, and Alec Alderson. So, I really thought that, maybe Dalton would never get enough support. But on Tuesday, while Dalton was clearly the star, scoring nearly half of the team's points, 29 out of 63, nevertheless, he did get a lot of help. Nobody contributed, other than Dalton, nobody contributed spectacularly, but everybody contributed a little. And, you saw guys really step up and do more than they've done all season. So as long as, they keep getting a good effort and continue to improve every game, they are going to have a shot, in the tournament. It does look like Cloverdale is going to be the favorite there in the South Putnam sectional again. Cloverdale's won 3 consecutive sectional championships, and now this year with the state's leading scorer in Jalen Moore, who's averaging 37 points a game. Obviously, they have their sights set on something even greater. But if Cascade continues to improve, if they get a good draw, especially a first round bye, then I don't rule out that they're going to win 1 or more tournament games and have their deepest tournament run in many years. It's been 12 years now since the boys team won a sectional, and 11 years since the girls team won a sectional. I still think the Lady Cadets have a very good shot to win their sectional this year. The boys, obviously, like I said, Cloverdale's going to be the favorite, and but I don't want to put any limits on these kids, and I learned last year we learned in a very painful lesson that an underdog can come in and stick a dagger in your heart like South Putnam did to us on the girls' side. And speaking of the girls, tomorrow at 12 p.m., or excuse me, tomorrow at 1 p.m., the IHSAA is going to announce the girls' sectional pairings. It is going to air live on the internet on IHSAATV.org. That's IHSAA.org. So I hope you IHSAATV.org. IHSAATV.org, excuse me. And so I hope you all will tune in for that. So in just about 16 hours or so, we will know what the Lady Cadets have drawn, who they will be playing and when. It's a 6-team sectional. Hopefully they will get a first-round bye. Of course, last year they did, and they still lost in their first game. But certainly it's better to have the bye than not to have it. And Cascade has in their regular season beaten the two teams the two other best teams that I think are in the sectional, South Putnam and Cloverdale, both in very dramatic fashion. I think that those three teams are well ahead of Western Boone, North Putnam, and Monrovia. North Putnam, Western Boone, and Monrovia. But anyway, looking at the boys, Cascade has 8 home games left. 8 regular season games left in the season, including the one tonight. And so, hopefully they will, hopefully they will continue to improve, and it'd be nice if they could salvage a winning regular season record. That is going to be tough. They don't have much margin for error for that. At 5-8, they would have to win. I believe 6 of their. Yeah, they'd have to win 6 of their last 8 regular season games, which is not impossible, but certainly they would not have a lot of margin for error. Looking ahead at their schedule, Indian Creek, not impossible, but certainly you got to give the edge to the Braves, a Class 3A team who's 9-4. Cloverdale on Tuesday night, featuring the aforementioned Jalen Moore, the leading scorer in the state. That's a probable loss. Then the WIC crossover game is Friday night against an opponent to be decided, so we don't know about that one yet. Then a week from tonight, and it will be a road game for Cascade, by the way. Then a week from tonight, Cascade will play Speedway. We're going to, right here at Clayton, we're going to be bringing you that one right here on audiosportsonline.com. Then, and Speedway is 1-10, by the way, so we should win that one. And then we got a couple of more probable wins after that against a couple of 1A teams on the road, Bethesda Christian on February 1st and Eminence on February 9th. Eminence is the Eels, by the way. Then next 3 weeks from tonight, we're going to be back here to play Plainfield, which is a probable loss. The Quakers are a very good team this season, led by 6'11" center Gavin Bizot, who is already committed to play college basketball at Duquesne University. They're an NCAA Division I school in Pennsylvania. Bizot, one of the most improved players in the state over the last couple of seasons. And then finally, February 16th against the Western Boone Stars, a 5-8 team. That's a pretty winnable game. Now, of course, ironically, my sometimes broadcast partner, Colin Bruns, who has commentated some Cascade games for us here on Audio Sports Online, happens to be a student at Western Boone. So, if Colin were to commentate that one, I think he would be a man of divided loyalty, but I'm sure he would do a good job. And then finally, we close out the season on Tuesday, February 20th, our senior day, against Covenant Christian, who's 3-11. So that's a very winnable game. So looking ahead, really, I think we're going to lose tonight. I don't rule out a win, but I think we're going to lose tonight. I think we're going to lose to Cloverdale. The WIC crossover game, it's a wild, that's just a wild guess, not knowing our opponent. But since we do tend to fare well against other 2A teams, I'm going to pencil us in winning that one. Should beat Speedway, should beat Bethesda Christian, should beat Eminence, should beat Covenant Christian. Probably lose to Plainfield. Western Boone, probably a toss-up, but I think that one leans toward us as well. So, if everything goes as I expect, that I've got us going, let's see. No, I'm sorry, I apologize. We have 9 games left starting tonight. So I've got us the rest of the way winning 6 and losing 3, which would bring us to end the regular season at 11-11. Which is, very ironically what the girls, could end up with. They have 2 regular season games left. Here, their senior day against Avon on Tuesday. That's about a 50-50 game. Avon might be a bit of a favorite, being a 4A team with a 12-8 record, but I think we still have a good shot to pull it out. Especially that we'll have over 72 hours rest, and it will be our senior day, and I think our girls will be pumped up for that. And then Thursday, when we close out the regular season, Thursday we close out the regular season at Speedway. That should be an easy win. So at that, we will pause for the national anthem. Well, thank you to Cascade for that lovely rendition of the national anthem. And it's 41 degrees outside, which feels like paradise. It's the best 41 degrees has ever felt in my life. I'm 47 years old, and I know that people's memories tend to be governed by the present much more so than the past, but I honestly think that in my 47 years of life, this is the longest cold stretch I've ever been through, and I'm a lifelong Hoosier. This is the longest stretch of such awful weather, and it's felt great, getting up into the 30s and 40s the last few days, and it's expected to stay, between the 30s and 50s in the 10-day forecast here on my weather forecast here on my phone. And, well, earlier today, we had a girls varsity, junior varsity doubleheader here at Cascade, in which the Lady Cadets took on the Class 4A Plainfield Lady Quakers. Cascade gave a good effort, but playing their third game in 3 days was just too much, especially against a high-quality class 4A team, and the Lady Cadets lost by a score of 41-35, having lost 49-41 last night to South Putnam in the WIC crossover game. So now the two teams come out for the tip-off. We've got Dalton DuBois jumping against, looks like Jared DeHart is going to jump for Indian Creek. He's a 6-foot senior, and DuBois easily gets the tip, tips it over to Michael Alderson, the senior point guard, leads the team in assists. Now pitches over to Dalton, had 29 in his last game, the big win over South Putnam on Tuesday. Now across the court, now DuBois at the baseline, takes it up, puts it off the glass, no good. Indian Creek controls the rebound. That's DeHart there. And he takes it up to the top of the key, guarded by Alderson. And now Western comes up to help. So now handling the ball, Xavier Ferris. He's a 6'2 sophomore. Now inside to Isaiah Lacey. He turns around, no good. Rebound DuBois. And he pitches it up to Dylan Compliment. He's getting the start tonight. Over to Alderson. Now passes over to Western. Now Western drives into the lane, pitches out to Compliment, though. Now back to Alderson behind the three-point line. Alderson dribbles, looks for an opening. It's tipped into the backcourt by Indian Creek, but now a nice steal attempt there, but Compliment gets it and brings it up. Now back to Compliment. Now he drives, then pitches over to Western, and now who finds a hole, gets between a couple of defenders, and he lays it up and draws the foul. So no score to the game, nearly a minute and a half. No, I apologize. The foul was on Western. The first foul of the game. 6:34 to go here in the first quarter. No score between Cascade and Indian Creek. 14th game of the season for the Cadets. They enter with a record of 5-8. Still have yet to win consecutive games this season. It'd be great to get that monkey off their back tonight. 9 regular season games left, including this one, before they start the playoffs in about 5 or 6 weeks. So now a three-pointer there is no good, off the rim. Stevenson chases down the rebound. He's got it. He gives it up to Du Bois, now gives it up to Alderson, who brings it past midcourt. Tries to take it down himself, pitches all the way across the court. Compliment saves it. Now over to Stevenson, over to Du Bois behind the three-point line. Over to Stevenson. Now to Western, to Alderson. So good ball movement by Cascade. Now Compliment has it. Over to Stevenson, pitches across court. Now to Western, now back to Compliment, fakes pass, and then he travels. 5:38 to go, still no score. But Cascade, however, this is the fourth home game. They have 3 more home games after this. We'll be bringing all of them to you here on audiosportsonline.com. And now a turnaround jumper, no good. Stevenson the rebound, gives it up to Du Bois, who's a good ball handler, especially for a size. Now a three-pointer from the corner is good. So Chase Westerns opens the scoring for Cascade. And nearly 3 minutes into the game, it's a 3-0 Cascade lead. So now it drives to the Ferris, gives it up. A three-pointer there, no good. Rebound by Compliment, gives it over to Alderson. Down court to Du Bois, thinks about a three. He does take a three, no good. Rebound there by Jace Russell for Indian Creek. Now gives it up to Xavier Ferris, who takes it up, and he puts in a floater to open the scoring for Indian Creek. 3-2 Cascade lead. 4:36 to go in the first quarter. Now a jumper at the other end. No good there by Compliment. And Russell comes away with the rebound, brings it down himself, hands it off over to Jared DeHart. Now across court. And drive on the baseline. And it's nearly stolen there. But now a three-pointer from the corner is good there by DeHart. So Indian Creek takes their first lead of the game by a score of 5-3. 4:08 to go here in the first quarter at Clayton. So now a vicious double team there on Alderson, but he gets it over to Du Bois, fakes the three, drives into the lane, puts it up, he draws the foul, almost to hit it. So Dalton Du Bois will be going to the line for 2. If he hits both of them, they will be tied. Cascade's Lady Cadets really struggled on free throws in recent games, and it's hurt them. Du Bois, however, hits that one. So he cuts the lead he gets the lead to 1. 5-4 your score. And he hits them both. So Du Bois with his first 2 points of the game. It's all tied at 5, a little over halfway through this first quarter here. The 4th of 7 home games for Cascade this year. They have 15 road or neutral site games on the schedule. Hopefully, we'll have more home games next season. We've also had several fewer for the girls this season as well. So now Ferris, with guarded by Compliment, takes it up to the top of the key, pitches over to DeHart. Now Ferris turnaround jumper, and he hits it. So Xavier Ferris with a couple of field goals here in the early going. He has a game-high 4 points, and it's a 7-5 Indian Creek lead. Now dangerous pass, but Stevenson gets it over to Compliment, now to Alderson. 3:06 to go here in the first quarter. Western now inside to Stevenson, puts it up off the glass and hits it. So Stevenson with his first points, and we're tied again, this time at 7, with 2:54 to go here in the first quarter at Clayton. So DeHart now there, coming off a pick, now drives to the top of the key, pitches over there to Ferris for 3, and he hits it. So Xavier Ferris off to an excellent start. He has 7 of his team's 10 points, and it's a 10-7 lead there by Indian Creek, and there a pass he nearly stole a pass there. Now they're going to have to struggle to get it past midcourt. They do, however. And now three-pointer from the corner, in and out by Alderson. So now Zach Pugh brings it. I misread his number there. And we got a foul there. It's going to be on the Cadets. On Du Bois. We've got to keep him out of foul trouble. It's a non-shooting foul, however. Second foul on Cascade. So now Ferris with the ball. He already has 7 here in the first 6 minutes of the game. Now a jump shot there off the back of the rim by DeHart. So Cascade now compliment pitches across court to Stevenson. Over to Du Bois. Drives then pitches over to Western. And now an easy lay-in there by Benson Walker, the tallest player on the team at 6'6", cutting the lead to 1. It's 10-9. Under 2 minutes to play now in the first quarter. 4 Cadets have already scored. Now a jump shot, no good. Du Bois the rebound, gives it to Alderson, brings it past midcourt. Now takes it back out. Pitches over to Walker, and they fouled him. Benson Walker at 6'6", a junior, probably going to be called upon to take the to really do a lot of the rebounding next year after Dalton Du Bois graduates and heads off to probably play college basketball. You know, there were 3 of last year's Cascade seniors are now playing college basketball, 2 for the girls, Bailey Walker and Michaela Collier, 1 for the boys, Evan Birch. In fact, Evan Birch and Bailey Walker both playing for Franklin College, Michaela Collier at Goshen College. Great that they all stayed in Indiana to play their college ball, and that, 2 of them actually did it, here just a few miles away. So Cascade takes a timeout trailing 10-9. We got a crowd of about 200 people here, including about 60 or 70 Indian Creek fans who made the trip from the small community of Trafalgar, which is about an hour southeast of here in Johnson County. I've only been to Trafalgar once in my life, and it was quite a memorable experience. In addition to being a sports commentator, I'm a film actor, and back in 2010, I acted in a film that was partially shot in Trafalgar called Creeporia, which is a horror comedy that was made by John Semper, who is the creator of the children's TV series Fraggle Rock. Also co-wrote or wrote some episodes of Clifford the Big Red Dog, and then he later made a horror comedy live-action film. And anyway, the film was released in 2014, and it's available on Amazon Prime. I play the bank officer named Mike Pingree, and I appear from a span of about an hour and 2 minutes to an hour and 17 minutes in there. So we filmed the scene at a dinner theater down there, and that they just converted to make it look like just, a horror movie theme restaurant. So it was a lot of fun. So anyway, again, that's Creeporia. Hope you all will enjoy it. So anyway, back to action here. It's a foul on DeHart there. That's the 3rd foul against Indian Creek. Now 3-pointer from the corner and it's good there. That was compliment. So 5 Cadets have scored already. And so anyway, it's Cascade goes back in front, 12-10. Now a baseline jumper is good there. That was Zach Pugh. That's P-U-G-H. So it's 12-12, very tight game so far. Now Ross Stevenson with the ball. Gives it over to Compliment. Back to Stevenson. To Alderson, now 38 seconds to go. Alderson holding the ball near midcourt, pitches it over to Stevenson. Oh, sloppy ball handling, but he manages to save it. Pitches over to Alderson, who pitches over to Compliment. Now to Stevenson again. Now to Benson Walker. I'm sorry, to Dalton DuBois there. And, a bad pass though, and it's stolen now, given up to Pugh, who lays it in. So Pugh with 4 quick points. And now Alderson brings it down, and he finds Benson Walker wide open. So a blown coverage there as Walker now has 4, and that's the end of the quarter. So very good, very entertaining first quarter. Your Cascade Cadets and the Indian Creek Braves are tied at 14 here on AudioSportsOnline.com. We'll be back after these words from our sponsors. The Cascade High School Athletic Department simply would not be able to operate without the financial support of our business partners. We would like to recognize and thank them for their generosity. The official health provider to the Cadets, Hendricks Regional Health, Diamond Partners, Bestway Drywall, and North Salem State Bank, Platinum Partners, Allen Irrigation Company, CJ's Pizza, and Dunn Insurance Agency, Gold Partner, Endeavor Communications, Silver Partner, Electric Plus, and Bronze Partner, Hankey Photography, and DMH Photographics. Thank you, business partners. Your support of the student-athletes of Cascade High School is greatly appreciated. Well, back here at Clayton, we're about to start the second quarter of play with your Cascade Cadets tied with the Indian Creek Braves at 14 here in Clayton. Well, obviously, because I said back here at Clayton. So this is the fifth game that I've commentated this week. Commentated the boys versus South Putnam right here on Tuesday night. Then commentated the girls out at Cloverdale on Thursday. Then the girls here last night against South Putnam in the Wick crossover game, and then this afternoon the girls here against Plainfield, and now finally obviously the boys here against Indian Creek. So, and I'm especially a little bit scatterbrained still from that double overtime thriller that Cascade won at Cloverdale on Thursday. Unfortunately, they're 0-2 since then. Again, with the mountain of mitigating circumstances. But anyway, three-pointer no good, goes out of bounds to Cascade. That was Dalton Pruitt. So we have a Dalton on each team. Dalton DuBois, of course, for Cascade. So 7:46 to go in the second quarter here at Clayton, tied at 14. Cascade and Indian Creek. The Braves enter with a record of 9-4. They took Center Grove, the number 13 team in Class 4A, to overtime in their last game last Saturday. So they've had a week off to get ready for this game. So now newly into the game for Cascade, we have Mason Tharp. He did some nice things there off the bench in that South Putnam win on Tuesday. And the win over South Putnam, that is. And now pressing defense, so we got a steal there by Pugh. He brings it down. He's dangerous. He already hit a couple of shots. And now he puts it up, and he draws contact, and he travels. So good break for the Cadets. Got to take care of the basketball. So Tharp gives it up to Western, to Alderson. Near steal there by Pugh. He's a very aggressive player. And, we got a foul there as Western was driving. I think they got an Indian Creek player on a reach-in. It's going to be on Pugh. That's only his first. So now Western sitting down, as does Alderson. Bryson Phillips into the game for Cascade. He's a 5'9" junior. Now pitch inside to DuBois, but they got a foul against Cascade. Still no score here in the second quarter. 14-14, 6:51 to go. That's DuBois. That's his second. They got to be careful. Not likely that they're going to have much chance to win if he doesn't play a vast majority of the game. So Chris DuBois, Dalton's father, sitting his son down. So now fakes on a three-pointer, drives the baseline jumper, no good, and we got a foul there on the rebound attempt with 6:40 to go here in the second quarter, tied at 14. It's going to be on Phillips, his first, team fourth. Now inside to Pugh, fakes a three, then nearly loses it, and now he's double-teamed, and he gets it away. Now gives it over to DeHart. Now it comes off his pick, three-pointer. Or what is his foot on the line? Okay, it's going to count on a 2. It's only a 2. So DeHart, nevertheless, with 5 on the game, it's a 16-14 Indian Creek lead. That was the first score by either team of the second quarter. And now inside to Benson Walker, puts it up. No good, off the rim, and a collision on the rebound attempt. Indian Creek has a decent basketball history. They've won 7 sectional championships. The most recent, though, not since 2000. Although 6, it should be noted that even though they're a Class 3A school, 6 of their 7 sectional championships and their only regional championship came in the single class era there, as Dalton Pruitt scores his first points on a jump shot. So it's a 4-0 start to the quarter for Indian Creek. And it's an 18-14 Indian Creek lead. So now compliment, and now a near steal there by DeHart. So Indian Creek really with a blitzing defense. We'll see how Cascade responds to it. They trail by 4 now with 5:31 to go here in the second quarter at Clayton. Stevenson with the ball now. Over to Tharp. Now he finds compliment, fakes a 3. Now pitches back. He drives, pitches back out, and now Tharp takes it down and tries to find Walker inside. Big pitches back out to Tharp for 3. He hit it. So Mason Sharp showing some promise here, and now we got a timeout here with 5:11 to go here in the second quarter. Cascade cuts the lead to 1. It's 18-17 in favor of Indian Creek. And, it's good to see Tharp do some good things. Just as, in the girls' game this week, it's good to see that, Juliana Schmidt and, Carly Gibbs, Taylor Norris have all had some nice moments because, next season is for both the boys and girls basketball teams here at Cascade is a very big question mark. The girls lose 7 seniors, including 4 of their 5 regular starters. And then the boys don't have quite as many number. They're not losing quite as many players in numbers, but they lose basically 3 regular starters, and then Dylan Compliment, who's also been a part-time starter and played I think in every game. And, of course, obviously each team losing its best players, with Dalton DuBois and Olivia Bryant. And, really their best 2 players because also, then Pugh hits a 3 anyways to push the lead back up to 4. So Ferris and Pugh each have 7 for Indian Creek. But then Compliment hits a 3. So he has 6 now, cutting the lead back to 1. Now at the other end, a nice block there by by Walker, Not doing a nice job filling it in for DuBois. So now Ross Stevenson now. A wide open compliment for 3. No good off the front of the rim, but we got a whistle here. And let's see what the call is. They got a foul on Walker there. 21-20, Indian Creek leading with the ball. 4:18 to go here in the second quarter at Clayton. And now a sloppy pass. It's saved, and however, now DeHart with the ball, guarded by Compliment. Double teamed, however, and he finds a wide open three-pointer, no good. However, it's put up and in there by Kyle Lime. His first points, and it's a 23-20 Indian Creek lead. It's been close the whole game. And now steal attempt, and it leaves Walker, to drive to the basket. He puts it up, no good, however, and, also no good on his second chance attempt. And now at the other end, we got a charge. So lucky break for the Cadets. 3:38 to go. Cascade gets the ball trailing by 3. And now we have, it looks like Benson Walker, he was holding his nose for a few seconds, like as if maybe it got hit in the nose. But his presence is, okay, Dalton DuBois is back in. Hopefully Walker is okay. He's sitting up now. So now a steal there, a sloppy pass by Stevenson, and it's returned laid up and in there by Pruitt. So a very balanced scoring attack so far by and now another near steal by Indian Creek, and but Stevenson gives it, but a sloppy pass. He was trying to hit Du Bois, but it goes out of bounds to Indian Creek, who has the ball and a 5-point lead now with 3:09 to go. Cascade is not responding very well to this blitzing defense by Indian Creek. And now a jump shot, no good. And now, boy, that was Lime hit Stevenson hard there going for the rebound. That's the sixth foul against Indian Creek. Cascade also has 6, so each team 1 foul away from the bonus. So now Alderson drives to the basket, and he hits it. There's blown coverage there. Alderson with his first points, and cuts the lead back to 3. It's a one-possession game again. Now at the other end, nice left-handed floater there by Pruitt. He has 6 now. So Stevenson with the ball, Cascade trailing by 5, and we got a whistle here. It's going to be a foul on this one is on Lacey. Isaiah Lacey, he is a 6'2 junior for the Braves. And Cascade is now in the bonus. So Dalton Du Bois will be going to the free throw line for a one-on-one. Really needs to hit these. Du Bois only 2 points. They're probably going to need a big game from him if they're going to win. His first free throw is up and no good off the front of the rim. And Lacey gets the rebound. It would be great if we could get some of these guys in foul trouble. And now we got now Walker coming back in for Du Bois. Du Bois only 2 points so far. They're going to need probably a lot more. This is probably one of those games where he's going to have to score 20 or more if they're going to win. So now great ball movement by Indian Creek, and we got a whistle here with 2:05 to go here in the second quarter. Indian Creek on top 27-22. And we got a foul on Hurst. Justin Hurst, he's a 5'8 junior. So the ball rolls out there for Lacey. Now at the other end, Alderson with the ball over to Walker. Now alley-oop to Benson Walker. He bobbles it but puts it up. No good. Oh, he put it too hard off the glass. That was a big problem that Cascade had with the girls this weekend, putting it off the glass too hard. They had 3 or 4 times. So now Indian Creek with the ball and a 5-point lead and a near steal attempt. And, they do get the steal. It's tipped over there to Hurst. Now Alderson, and it's nearly stolen away. And he gets a great awareness by Alderson. He got down on the floor, grabbed it, called the timeout to avoid the travel. Very, very smart heads-up play. Or they determined that... Okay, apparently the referee had already blown the whistle before he got it, so before Alderson got it. Well, I can see why this kind of ball movement, this kind of defense, why Indian Creek was able to stay so competitive with Center Grove, and now a jump shot is good there by Pugh. He has a game high 9. So it's now Indian Creek threatening to, pull away. late in the first half. 40 seconds to go. They lead by 7 now. Alderson now takes it to the baseline, pitches out to Hurst. And now he drives, looking for an opening, pitches back out to Compliment. 29 seconds left. Compliment over to Hurst. And now runs into, I think he ran into his own man, pitches back out to Alderson, 21 seconds. And he tries to find Stevenson, who gets it. Then Alderson gets it back now from Hurst. 14 seconds to go now in the half. Now Alderson looks like he was trying to get a pick from Walker. Now Walker does set a pick. Now inside to Alderson, to Walker, but it's mishandled and stolen there. Lacey brings it down. A loose ball. Walker gets it, and that's the end of the half. They didn't get a final shot off. So a shaky second quarter by Cascade, and they go into the locker room trailing by a score of 29-22 against the Indian Creek Braves. We'll be back with the first half recap. After these words from our sponsors. The Cascade High School Athletic Department simply would not be able to operate without the financial support of our business partners. We would like to recognize and thank them for their generosity. The official health provider to the cadets, Hendricks Regional Health. Diamond Partners, Bestway Drywall and North Salem State Bank. Platinum Partners, Allen Irrigation Company, CJ's Pizza and Dunn Insurance Agency. Gold Partner, Endeavor Communications. Silver Partner, Electric Plus. And Bronze Partner, Hankey Photography and DMH Photographics. Thank you, business partners. Your support of the student-athletes of Cascade High School is greatly appreciated. Well, back here at Clayton, we're at halftime with your Cascade Cadets trailing the Indian Creek Braves by a score of 29-22. It's a game in which the two teams played it even in the first quarter, after which they were tied at 14. However, in the second quarter, Cascade began crumbling amid a barrage of steal attempts by Indian Creek, many of which were successful. And Cascade, got rattled and got sloppy with the ball handling, while Indian Creek outscored the Cadets in the quarter by a margin of 15-8 and currently have a 29-22 lead. Look at the individual scoring. First of all, for Cascade, they have a very unlikely leading scorer. Dylan Compliment has 6. Benson Walker has 4. Mason Tharp has 3. Dalton DuBois has 2. Ross Stevenson has 2. Michael Alderson has 2. And Chase Western has 3. So 7 cadets have scored, but 5 of them have only 2 or 3. Now, in contrast, only 5 Indian Creek players have scored, but let's listen to their totals. Zach Pugh has 9. Xavier Ferris has 7. Dalton Pruitt has 6. Jared DeHart has 5. And Kyle Lime has 2. So the top 4, 9, 7, 6, and 5. And, whenever a team has that kind of scoring balance for a half or for a game, I often cite it. Very often when teams have that kind of balance, they win. Because, if you spread it out that evenly, it probably means that, you weren't able to contain anyone well enough. You weren't able to clamp down and contain anyone well enough to control the game. And, I remember last year I commentated the Greencastle Regional for WYRZ, and in the championship game, Tri-West lost to Crispus Attucks, and the top five Crispus Attucks, in overtime, by the way, I should add, but the top 5 Crispus Attucks scorers in the game had 16, 13, 13, 13, and 11, and I made a special point about that, about the balance, and sure enough, they went on to win the Class 3A state championship a couple of weeks later. And really an inspirational story just because of, all the history there with Crispus Attucks. But getting back to the point, another state championship, another eventual state championship team I covered was back in 2013. I covered one game that Carmel did. I was commentating. I was commentating for Hamilton Southeastern on Audio Sports Online, and they had a game up at Carmel, who was the number 1 team in the state at the time, and went on to win the state championship, and they did not have a dominant player. They just had 5 guys who had awesome chemistry together. So very often, it's the guys who are great teams that very often it's the groups of players who are great teams who function very strongly as a unit that do best, as opposed to teams who have one or 2 superstar players that a good team can clamp down on and keep from taking the game over. And we've seen for a lot of the season with both the Cascade boys and girls teams, where the top 1 or 2 scorers simply did not get enough help and couldn't do it by themselves. And like I was starting to say I was starting to say earlier, both the boys and girls are losing their undisputed top 2 players, to graduation this year. Olivia Bryant and Hannah Rasnick for the girls, both of whom should be playing college basketball, and then Dalton DuBois and Michael Alderson for the boys. I'm quite certain that Dalton will play college basketball. Michael Alderson, not a lock to, although if he goes for it, I would imagine that the least he could, catch on with a small college. Certainly is a possibility. But the point is, next year there are going to be a lot of question marks, and I'm glad that in the last few games, both coaches Carpenter and DuBois have experimented a little more in given some of the younger players some playing time, because it'd be great to go into next season with at least a few players who have significant varsity experience. And I think that I think the future for both the boys and girls programs, as well as the football program, are all very bright. But next year it's just going to be. Next year very well could be a rebuilding year. Next year, both teams very well could finish below 500. And if that happens, don't panic, because better times are on the way. It just means that we might have like with the football team this school year, a group of kids who have a bright future, who just need a year to go through the fire, take some lumps, and grow and mature, and then become a winning team in a year or two. Tell you, I think the football team this coming season is going to be decent. I think they're going to win 4 or 5 games. It's the year after that when I think they're really gonna break through. When you'll have Jason Mantooth and Dylan Kottkamp and AJ Walker and some of those, or AJ Sanders, excuse me. Who is AJ Walker? I don't know if that's like some kind of subliminal. So some person I'm remembering subliminally. I'll tell you, I think it's probably because there's so many Walkers here, like Bailey and Benson here at Cascade. So, just putting the names together. But no, AJ Sanders, he's going to be a real. I think he's going to be the MVP of the team over these next couple of years, and I think Cascade is going to have a winning season in 2019 and have a shot to make a good tournament run. And Coach Steve Spinks certainly is committed to the program. He says he wants to get it to. He wants to get up to 60 players, and a lot of people doubt a 2A team can do that. And to put it in perspective, Cascade has about 480 students, so that means he's anticipating getting about a fourth of the boys in the school to play football. Barring the possibility of any girls playing on the team. And there are an extremely small number of girls who do play high school football, by the way. In fact, I actually, this year, this is my 6th year of sports commentary, and I actually commentated, I believe, the first girl I've ever commentated this season. She plays on the Avon freshman team, a kicker named Sam Miller, and in the 2 games I commentated her, she was 13 of 13 on extra points. And there were a lot of varsity kickers who did not do that well this year. So I think Sam, at the very least, she could be a solid, extra point kicker for the varsity team. Probably won't be real good, at doing the kickoffs, but, for the extra points and short-range field goals where distance isn't that important, but accuracy is, I think she could have a future there. Again, the name is Sam Miller. You heard it here first. But anyway, now the teams have returned to the court. There's 13 seconds left on the clock. My throat is very dry, so I'm going to take a brief sip of my soda here while the final seconds of the halftime clock run out. So bear with me, please. So anyway, Stevenson inbounds to Alderson. Cascade down by 7. Trying to get something going here. Hopefully, Coach DuBois made some adjustments so they will play a lot better amid this blitzing, swarming defense of Indian Creeks. So now Compliment with the ball. Pitches inside, and we got a foul there. He was trying to hit DuBois. Only 2 points in the first half for DuBois. Dylan Compliment, the unlikely leading scorer. I'm sure his brother down in Tennessee is proud. Like I mentioned in the Tuesday broadcast, I met Dylan Compliment's brother right after the Owen Valley game there as Ross Stevenson puts it in. He has 4 now. And Dylan entered that game averaging less than 2 points but scored 11 that night with his brother in attendance. So hopefully his brother's at least listening, if not actually here. So now Pugh fakes the 3, drives up to the free throw line, pitches out to Ferris for 3, no good. Rebound put up and in by DeHart, and he gets the foul as well. So DeHart with 7 now, trying to make it 8. The foul is going to be on Western. That's his second, team first of the half. So DeHart's free throw is up, no good off the back of the rim, and Stevenson comes with the rebound. Stevenson at 5'11", not afraid to get in there and get down and dirty. He's a very tough player for his size. So now Alderson to Stevenson, back to Alderson. Now it cuts between a couple of players, pitches out to Compliment, 3-pointer no good. DuBois gets it, puts it back up and hits it. DuBois has 4, cutting the lead to 5. Hopefully that will kick off a big scoring barrage from Dalton. And now on the other end, beautiful reverse layup attempt. No good, however. Stevenson comes with another rebound, but he doesn't pay attention, and it's stripped away from behind by Pugh. The girls have been guilty of that a couple of times in their games the last couple of days, of just driving up court and not, being aware of the defensive player behind. And now a nice block there by DuBois. Fight over the loose ball, however. Indian Creek comes away with it. 6 minutes to go in the third quarter now with the ball, and they lead by 5. Now a wide open 3 there by Pugh. So he has a game high 12, and it's an 8-point lead for the Braves. So 5:45 to go here in the quarter. Cascade ball. Alderson drives into the lane, puts it up. I think he was looking for contact, didn't get any. Ferris the rebound, gives it up to Lacey. Takes it and now gives it up to Ferris. Drives into the lane, pitches back out to Pugh for 3, and he hit it. So Zach Pugh has 15 points, a game high, And this game starting to slip away from the Cadets. 5:22 to go here in the third quarter at Clayton. However, we have a foul apparently after the shot. It looks like the shot is going to count, but there is a foul on DeHart, which is his third. So DeHart sits down. Pruitt coming back in for Indian Creek. And if Cascade does not get something going on offense soon, then they are going to be up Indian Creek without a paddle. Oh, no, the collision there. Du Bois collided with Pugh from behind, so that's Du Bois' third, so he's likely going to sit down now. Yeah, Benson Walker is coming back in. Well, hopefully Walker next season will be able to, fill the gap, the big gap that Du Bois is going to leave. And now a jumper from the free throw line, no good. And there's the two players locked arms, and there's a foul against Indian Creek. It was the two number 23s, Pruitt and Western. The foul goes against the foul goes against Pruitt, his first, team third. 4:53 to go. Now Western drives the lane and he gets the foul. He drives the baseline, excuse me. So Chase Western, 3 points in the first half, coming on a 3-point field goal. Cascade trailing by 11. It's an 8-4 lead, 8-4 margin in favor of Indian Creek here in the third quarter as Western misses the first one off the back of the rim. So now, sorry we lost our video connection there momentarily. It should be back now. I apologize for that. So now a free throw lane jumper is good there by Russell. Russell with his first points. And it's a game-high 13-point lead for the Braves. Now Alderson with the ball. And now nearly stolen there. Nearly taken out of his hands. Now a three-pointer there by Western. No good. And Compliment tries to chase down the rebound, but it goes out of bounds to Indian Creek. So Pugh, the MVP of the game so far for the Braves, 15 points, including a couple. And now a steal there by Stevenson. Stevenson's done a lot of the dirty work tonight. He's been one of the bright spots for Cascade. Now Compliment with the ball. Very aggressive defense there by Pugh. Gives it up to Stevenson. Now over to Western. Back to Compliment to Alderson. Back to Compliment. Back to Alderson. Now dribbles across court, but bad pass, way too high. And so it. Let's see what the. Now Mason Tharp coming in for Chase Western. And now another miscommunication on a pass. Well, wait, we got a. But it's out of bounds to Cascade. I have a mildly obstructed view here. I cannot see the corner of the near side of the field, or the court, excuse me. I'm already ready for football season to start. Though I'm having a great time here in basketball season as well. Like I said, this is my 5th game of the week. Now into Stevenson. Drives to the basket, puts it up, and it is blocked out of bounds there by Russell, a 6'3" junior for the Braves. Pugh only a junior. 5'9", I'll tell you, if he grows a few more inches, he he should get some really good, scholarship offers. And now I think we got a 5-second violation against Cascade. So things coming apart for the Cadets. Du Bois coming back in. He has 3 fouls, but at this point, I think they're going to have to. They're just going to have to take the chance. And now Russell's fouled. Foul on Walker. That's his second, team third. First free throw is no good there by Russell. Hits the second one. 40-26 now. Indian Creek has a firm grip on this one. 3 minutes to go in the third quarter. Now Compliment drives to the basket, puts it up. He draws the foul. So Compliment will be going to the line for 2. He's the team's leading scorer with 6. Du Bois only has 4. Keep in mind also in the girls' game of today, their leading scorer, Olivia Bryant, only scored 6. Their second leading scorer, Hannah Rasnake, scored 0. And Compliment is the first one. So missed free throws plaguing both the boys and girls today for the Cadets. So Compliment on his second free throw is up and good. So Compliment has a team-high 7. And now we have a collision there. It's going to be against Cascade on Phillips. That's his second. His second, team fourth. 2:53 to go here in the third quarter. Cascade just, and now another three-pointer there. This one in and out. And Cascade does control the rebound, pitches down court to Du Bois, who turns around, puts it up. It looks like he was trying to draw the contact, didn't get a foul. And now Russell at the other end. And now now they got what's the call? Did they say he was fouled? I don't think the shot is going to count. Foul on Walker, that's his third. Du Bois also has 3. So Lacey will be going to the free throw line. He has not scored yet. Indian Creek up by 13. Lacey does hit it. Becoming the 7th Brave to score. It's a 41-27 lead for Indian Creek now. 2:24 to go here in the third quarter at Clayton. Cascade just hasn't gotten much going on offense. He hit them both. 15-point lead now for Indian Creek. So now Compliment with the ball. Gives it to Tharp, back to Compliment. Now tries to hit Du Bois for an alley-oop, but the timing is off. And Ferris takes it coast to coast and draws the foul with 2:01 to go here in the third quarter. No, apparently they're going to get Ferris for the charge. So rare break for the Cadets tonight. So it's been a day really where Cascade's star players have all really been, not very effective. I mean, Du Bois has really been taken out of this game. I mean, he's just never really gotten, a chance to do much. And when he has, although he is going to the line now after that foul on Lacey, his second, team 7th, so Cascade is in the bonus now with 1:55 to go here in the third quarter. And Du Bois misses the free throw. It's very appropriate the way things have gone for Cascade today, for both the boys and the girls. And now a steal, though. So Du Bois, breakaway dunk. He got it. So Du Bois with 6 now. We'll see if he comes alive here. 1:36 to go here in the quarters. However, it's still a 13-point deficit. And now a steal there. Oh, but a bad pass. And now it's laid in for an easy point there. Pruitt with a quiet 8 now. That was a bad pass there by Ian Birch. He's a 6'1 junior. And now, Pruitt made a slap at the ball, knocked it out of bounds to Cascade with 1:11 to go here in the third quarter. Cascade trailing by 15. Now they try to hit Du Bois again. And now he is hacked as he goes for the shot. So Du Bois will be going to the free throw line. He has 6 points. He has struggled with foul trouble. He has 3. He got his second in the second quarter. Du Bois on the first free throw is up and good. So now he has 7, tying complement for the team lead. They're probably going to need a monster fourth quarter from Du Bois if they're going to have any chance to come back. He does hit them both, so now he has a team-high 8. 44-31 your score. 1:06 to go here in the third quarter at Clayton. We're coming at you live here on audiosportsonline.com. And they were double-teaming Pugh, who has the game-high 15. That's the fourth on Du Bois. So now that really that's going to make it really tough. Presumably Du Bois will be sitting out at least the rest of the quarter. He's now in a Coach Du Bois now talking to his son. So now inside, put it up off the glass and in there. That was Lime. He has 4. So a very balanced scoring attack continues for Indian Creek, and they lead by 15 with 32 seconds to go here in the third quarter at Clayton. Tharp with the ball now near midcourt, pitches over to Western. Now cross court, a bad pass stolen, and it's a return for a layup, and he hits it and he's fouled there. That was Isaiah Lacey. He has 4 now, chance to make it 5. And Indian Creek has a game-high 17-point lead with 18.1 seconds to go here in the third quarter. He misses the free throw. So now another bad pass, although it is knocked out of bounds. A nice steal attempt there by Pugh. 13.6 seconds to go. Phillips to inbound. He throws into the backcourt to Tharp. 9 seconds to go. Now a three-pointer there is good there at the buzzer. Who was it? That was Phillips with his first points of the game. So Cascade, still not out of the woods, but that was a nice way to end it. And in the quarter, they still trail by 15. It's ruled a 2 there by Phillips, by the way. I thought it was 3. Wishful thinking, I guess. But anyway, we'll be back after these words from our sponsors on audiosportsonline.com. Your score, Indian Creek 48, Cascade 35. The Cascade High School Athletic Department simply would not be able to operate without the financial support of our business partners. We would like to recognize and thank them for their generosity. The official health provider to the cadets, Hendricks Regional Health. Diamond Partners, Bestway Drywall at North Salem State Bank. Platinum Partners, Allen Irrigation Company, CJ's Pizza and Dunn Insurance Agency. Gold Partner, Endeavor Communications. Silver Partner, Electric Plus. And Bronze Partner, Hankey Photography and DMH Photographics. Thank you, business partners. Your support of the student athletes of Cascade High School is greatly appreciated. Well, back here at Clayton, we're about to start the fourth quarter with your Cascade Cadets in trouble. They're trailing the Indian Creek Braves by a score of 48-33. 15-point deficit, 8 minutes to overcome it. They need to make up about 2 points a minute. Zach Pugh is the MVP for Indian Creek for this game, but it's been an outstanding team effort. So now inside to easy lay-in there. So Lime now with 4 quick points. He has 6 on the game. He had 1 right at the end of the and now a steal there by Lime. But I think they said he stepped on the line. But it's been a relentless attack, and that's something that Coach Du Bois has got to work on in practice. Teaching the team to handle, high-pressure defenses like this, because they've just looked so rattled for much of the game. Cascade's next game, it's not going to get any easier. They play at Cloverdale on Tuesday night. Cloverdale featuring the leading scorer in the state in Jalen Moore. He's a 5'9" guard headed for Utah State, averaging 37 points a game. He beat us on a last-second layup, penetrating between 2 of our players last year. So now a nice block there by Benson Walker. Now mass substitutions. Du Bois, Stevenson, Tharp, and Compliment all coming back in for Cascade, while Western, Birch. And now a shot no good. Oh, and now there was a hack there. There's a collision. I think they're going to get, who is that? On Tharp, okay. That's his second, team 8th. So Jared DeHart going to the free throw line. He has a quiet 7. Everybody except Pugh has, been quietly effective. Pugh's been a little more obvious, especially with those 2 consecutive 3-point shots he had that really helped break the game open. So now a lay-in there. Who was that? DeHart. He has 9 now, and it's a 17-point lead again. Oh, and now another bad pass. Oh, excuse me, a 19-point lead, 52-35. So Cascade just, coming apart at the seams with 6:42 to go here. And now we got a timeout. It's full timeout by Cascade, and, even though there's very little chance for Cascade to come back and win this game, probably not more than maybe a 1 in 100 chance. What you want to see right now for this last 64 is just good execution, and Cascade for the most part has not executed well today. And I think the main thing is they've just been intimidated by Indian Creek. This has just been an excellent A-plus defensive effort by the Braves tonight. This is the first time I've ever commentated Indian Creek and boys basketball. And, yeah, I am impressed. They have been rebuilding their program in recent years. They are coming off 3 consecutive winning seasons under head coach Derek Perry, who transferred to the athletic director position at Indian Creek at the end of last season. And now new head coach Drew Glinser looks like he's taken the team up to the next level, and they're vying for their first sectional championship in 18 years. And certainly, Pugh is going to be a hot college prospect, especially if he, at 5'9", it's a little tough to get Division I offers, but, if he grows a few more inches, that'll help. And when he's at that age, you still have a chance to grow a little bit more. I mean, Paul George, I think he grew 2 inches after he joined the Pacers, and he was like 20 at the time. So 6:16 to go. Cascade trailing by 19 points here. Foul on Compliment. That's his second. Compliment second on the team in scoring tonight. So now a jump shot, no good. Now tip up, no good. Stevenson comes away with the rebound. And now over to Compliment, cross court to Stevenson, drives to the basket, gives it up to Du Bois, takes it to the basket hard, hits it, and he's fouled. So Dalton Du Bois finally hits double figures, but it's probably too little too late as the Cadets still trailed by 17 with 5:47 to go here in the fourth quarter at Clayton. So Du Bois, no good on the free throw. He has 10 on the game. Now at the other end, coast to coast, total defensive lapse. Jared DeHart weaved between two players. He has 11 now, and it's back to a 19-point lead. So now Compliment cross court to Stevenson, fakes the three. Now passes back out to Compliment, fakes the three of his own. Now he pitches back to, but it's a wild pass. Stevenson tries to save it, but he tips it into the hands of Pugh, who hits a jumper, and he has game-high 17 now, and it's a 21-point game-high lead for the Braves with 5:07 to go. So Stevenson with the ball now. Over to Walker, baseline jumper, no good. A rebound now by Russell, and he gives it up to Pugh, who brings it up. And Indian Creek has a firm grip on this one. Pugh for three now. No good. Rebound by Du Bois. And he gives it up to Tharp. 4:41 to go in the game. Cascade trailing by 21. There haven't been any 10 or 15 nothing runs or anything like that. Just Indian Creek's pulled away a little at a time, starting with the second quarter. And now Compliment gives it up to Walker, drives to the basket, puts it up, and he draws the foul. Or did they say, let's see what the foul is. So yes, so Walker will be going to the free throw line with 4:20 to go. So Benson Walker has 4 points. First free throw is good after a few bounces. He has 5. If he could even be, say, next season, a 10.8 rebound a game guy, that would be very good. Someone who can just plug the lane well. He hits both free throws. He has 6. Cuts the lead to 19 with 4:20 to go in the game. Alderson coming back into the game now. Walker sitting down. So now the other end. Oh, and another defensive lapse, but, they don't convert it. And Du Bois comes away with the rebound. 4:04 to go now. So Alderson with the ball. Drives to the baseline. Now takes it back out. Looks like Stevenson's wanting to set a pick there. So Alderson now goes between two defenders, and he draws the foul. That's going to be on Lime, his third, team 10th. So Cascade in the double bonus. Alderson will go to the free throw line with 3:54 to go. His team trailing by 19. Alderson is good, and he has 3 points on the game. Second free throw, no good. However, rebound, Tharp Tharp got the rebound, and he draws the foul, putting it back up. So Tharp will go to the line for 2 now. Trailing by 18 with 3:51 to go. So hopefully he'll hit him. It would be nice if we could start racking up some points with the clock stopped. And it's good. Tharp has 4 now. So 8 cadets have scored, but the problem is they just haven't scored enough. Tharp hits them both. He has 5. So the lead cut to 16. Probably not a realistic scenario by which Cascade could come back to win this game, but they are at least making a good effort here late. And now we got a foul. I think they got Pugh for a push-off there. That's his 4th. Although even if he fouls out at this point, probably doesn't do us much good. So Cascade now over to Phillips, now to Compliment. Drives, then pitches over to Tharp beyond the 3-point arc. Now across court, but a bad pass. But it's saved, though. Wow, that was a heck of an effort. Compliment went about 5 rows up in the stands. Not run our test style, but just actually trying to, save the ball there. It's a great effort. So now, but now a total defensive breakdown. But but it's no good and goes out of bounds to Cascade with 3:28 to go. So the Cadets have a chance to, cut further into the lead here. And I give now knocked out of bounds to Cascade again, but I give Indian Creek credit. They got a 16-point lead, 3:21 to go, and they're still playing very relentless defense. But now a wide open 3 by Compliment, no good, and rebound there by Lime. So now DeHart brings it up. I would imagine that Indian Creek's not going to be that quick to shoot. Now Lime out to now. Pugh gets it back. Now a drive to the basket, puts it up, and DeHart has a collision, I believe, with Du Bois. If it's against Du Bois, then he has fouled out. Yes, so Dalton Du Bois has fouled out with 10 points. He had 29 in the big win over South Putnam on Tuesday night. This is not one of his better games. He really was largely, he really didn't get much chance to get into the game tonight. He missed a lot of the game with foul trouble, and then when he was in the game, he just never got into the swing of things. Started to somewhat get into the swing of things here in the second half, but it was just, too little too late by that point there as DeHart hits the first free throw. He has 12 now, second on the team behind Pugh's 17, and his second free throw is good, so he hit them both. And the lead back up to 18 with 3:01 to play here in the fourth quarter. Alderson takes it up now for Cascade. Pitches over to Phillips, no good on the three-pointer. Rebound there by DeHart. Nice behind-the-back dribble. Nearly had an over and back violation. I'm not sure he didn't, that he shouldn't have been called for one, but nevertheless, he drives in a free throw line jumper now. And a free throw line jumper, and it's rebounded there by Compliment, and I think Compliment was fouled there by Lime with 2:40 to go. So it looks like Dylan Compliment will be going to the line. That's Lime, so he has 4, as does Pugh. So Compliment will go to the line for 2. His first one, in and out. And he looked upset with himself too. So it shows, and now Indian Creek looks like they're emptying the bench now. This is my least favorite time of the game as a commentator because I have such a hard time, getting all the names right of all the guys who don't play much. His Compliment second free throw is good, so he has 8. Second on the team behind Du Bois is 10. And now Compliment sits down, possibly for the last time tonight. 2:40 to go. Indian Creek up by 17. So now a jumper, no good by Pugh. And now Walker, I think they're going to get him for fouling Ryan McGillum on the rebound attempt. Both teams in the double bonus now. That's the fourth one on Benson Walker, who's had a decent game with 6 points. And now Ryan McGillum, a 6'2 senior, newly into the game, goes to the free throw line for Indian Creek. His first one is no good off the front of the rim. 2:17 remaining now. Second free throw up and good. So McGillum scores tonight, and it's an 18-point lead. So now Walker for a three, no good. Cascade controls the rebound. Now another three from the corner, no good, and rebound by Ferris, who brings it up with under 2 minutes to play now. And now there's a whistle there as Lacey was posting up. They're going to get Hurst for the foul. That's his second. I'm sorry, that's Lacey at the line, excuse me, Lacey. And he hits the first. He has 5. Now Tharp coming in for Walker for Cascade. So Lacey hits them both, and it's a 20-point lead now. 1:42 to go. And now a steal there by Pugh, and there's he collides with who was it? He collides with Phillips while they were both vying for the ball with 1:32 to go here. So Pugh will go to the free throw line, a chance to add to his game-high 17 points. Pugh is good. He has 18, and it's a 21-point lead. He hit them both. He has 19. Pugh, probably one of the top 6 or 7 players who's played against Cascade this season. So now, three-pointer, no good. And Pugh controls the rebound. Why not? This is his game. So 1:10 to go. Indian Creek with the ball and a 22-point lead here at Clayton. Now, I think they're going to get Phillips for a reach in there against Ferris. So Ferris will be going to the free throw line. He has 7. I think they were all in the first half, too. So Ferris' first free throw is up and no good off the back of the rim. Second is good. So he has 8 now, 64-41, 1 minute to go. Mason Tharp with the ball for Cascade. And now he tries to set up Birch down low, and there's a foul there on the rebound attempt. Ian Birch, younger brother of Evan Birch, last season's leading scorer, now a freshman at Franklin College, just a few miles southeast of here, where last year's girls' leading scorer Bailey Walker is also playing, and is the team's leading scorer and rebounder. So great job by Bailey as a freshman. So Birch is good on the first free throw. So 9 scorers for Cascade, 8 for Indian Creek. Everybody getting into the action. Everybody getting into the action tonight. Burt shoots them both. So Pugh brings it up. 45 seconds to go now. And now Pugh puts up a three. No good. And a fight over the rebound, and we got a foul with 34.3 seconds to go. Let's see what the call is. Air ball there by Hurst. And now Indian Creek gets it. Lacey brings it up, and very well, Indian Creek very well might run out the clock. 15 seconds to go now. Yeah, and it looks like Dalton Pruitt. Now he passes over to Filippo Brucisi. I'm just guessing at the pronunciation. Well, it's an educated guess, but anyway, that's the game. So disappointing day here at Cascade. Both the boys and the girls lose. Girls lose to Plainfield earlier today, 41-35. Boys lose to Indian Creek, 64-43. We'll be back after these words from our sponsors on audiosportsonline.com. The Cascade High School Athletic Department simply would not be able to operate without the financial support of our business partners. We would like to recognize and thank them for their generosity. The official health provider to the cadets, Hendricks Regional Health. Diamond Partners, Bestway Drywall, and North Salem State Bank. Platinum Partners, Allen Irrigation Company, CJ's Pizza, and Dunn Insurance Agency. Gold Partner, Endeavor Communications. Silver Partner, Electric Plus. And Bronze Partner, Hankey Photography, and DMH Photographics. Thank you, business partners. Your support of the student athletes of Cascade High School is greatly appreciated. Well, back here at Clayton for a final time tonight, where your Cascade Cadets have lost to the visiting Indian Creek Braves by a score of 64-43. It's a game in which the two teams were even 14-14 at the end of the first quarter, but as Indian Creek blitzed Cascade like crazy on defense, and Cascade looked rattled and had a hard time hitting their shots, while Indian Creek shot very well and got wide contributions from several players. Got big contributions from several players. It was just too much for Cascade, and the Braves gradually pulled away starting in the second quarter. It was 29-22 at the half. Then 48-33 at the end of 48-33 at the end of three, and then 64-45 was your final score. A look at the individual scoring. First of all, for your Cascade Cadets, Dalton DuBois led the way, but only 10 points this time, barely half of his average. Dylan Compliment had 8 points. Benson Walker had 6. Mason Tharp had 5. Dalton DuBois had 10. Dylan Compliment had 8. Benson Walker had 6. Mason Tharp had 5. Ross Stevenson had 4. Chase Western had 3. Alec Alderson had 3. Bryson Phillips had 2, and Ian Birch had 2. Meanwhile, for Indian Creek, Zach Pugh led the way with 19, followed by Jared DeHart with 13, Xavier Ferris with 8, Dalton Pruitt with 8, Kyle Lime with 6, Isaiah Lacey with 6, Jace Russell with 3, and Ryan McGillum with 1. So, you look at the scoring balance there, and it just, getting back to the point I was making there at the half, Pugh was a little bit of the dominant scorer. I mean, he had 19, which is 6 more than the next highest player, and 5 higher than the 2 players who are next on the scoring list. But overall, when your top scorers get 19, 13, 8, 8, 6, and 6, you're going to win most of the time. That's pretty well spread out, and so really, there was no one player, who Cascade could have contained tonight that would have really given them a good shot for the victory. They were playing against a better team. Indian Creek entered the game. They're a 3A team, entered the game with a record of 9-4. They're coming off 3 consecutive winning seasons. And they have, a junior and senior dominated team. Ferris is a sophomore. Everybody else on the team is a junior or senior. And probably 2 or 3 guys on this team who are going to play college ball for Indian Creek. So it's not a terrible loss for Cascade. My big problem, the big concern for me for Cascade, I thought they had turned the corner with the South Putnam game. This game wasn't a disaster, but my problem is that they really never, even after the halftime, they never figured out a way to they never figured out a way to handle this, swarming, blitzing defense of Indian Creek's. Cascade, the whole game, well, really from the second quarter on, they just looked phased and rattled and, almost afraid and panicked. And they threw, quite a few bad passes that hurt them. And then, like usual, they did not have enough offensive weapons. Indian Creek did. Obviously, that was going to give Indian Creek an advantage right there. But Cascade did not handle the pressure well tonight. And that is something that, you can bet that Coach Du Bois will be working heavily on practice, working hard on heavily in practice over the next few days. And, Cascade now drops to 5-9 on the season. Still have not put together a winning streak yet. And they have 8 games to right the ship for the playoffs. And, this loss does not negate all the good that came out of that Indian Creek, the South Putnam win on Tuesday. That was a very encouraging win. But this game was not a dead end, not even a roadblock, just a little bit of a setback. And still nearly right around a third of the season left to be played before we start the playoffs. So there's still, enough good. There's been, while there has not been a third player emerge as a breakthrough scorer, there have been signs of, several players off the bench. Benson Walker, Dylan Compliment, both doing some bigger things lately. Mason Tharp, who's only a sophomore, showing some promise the last couple of games. So hopefully that will continue, and that, will, eventually, by the time the playoffs start, be playing our best basketball of the season. And then obviously, it wouldn't hurt if, the almighty draw was good to us this year. Although, that's no guarantee for success, but it certainly does not hurt. And so basically, I'm trying very hard to take, a glass half full approach, for the boys team right now. And, they were 1-1 this week. They had a very good win on Tuesday. Not a terrible loss, but a disappointing loss tonight. Not so to me, the problem isn't so much the loss. It was just that, they did not do a good job handling the defense. I mean, had they lost, had they lost this game by, 8, maybe 10, I wouldn't be taking it that badly. I'd just look at it as that we lost to a better team. But we just did not. We did lose to a better team, but we also got, thoroughly out-executed. And that's something that we have to work on and fix over these last 8 regular season games, including the 3 at home, before we head into the South Putnam sectional in late February. Well, looking ahead, Cascade returns to action this Tuesday night against a very entertaining opponent, the Cloverdale Clovers, who sport the best, well, not the best, the leading scorer in the state in Jalen Moore. He's a 5'9" guard who averages 37.1 points per game. The Clover, we were actually last season, with Moore as a junior and Cooper Neese, the seventh leading scorer in state history, who now is a redshirt freshman for Indiana State. We actually took them down to the wire, and after Neese fouled out, Moore won the game for his team on a layup at the buzzer when he took it coast to coast and penetrated between two Cadets players. So, anyway, so I hope that you all will be one of two places on Tuesday night, either out there at Cloverdale, which is just about a 20-mile drive from here. You just get on US 40, go all the way down to US 31, then go 5 miles south, and it's right there. And the girls just won an epic win. Girls just won an epic game there in double overtime on Thursday night. They erased an 18-point deficit to win that one. But anyway, Cloverdale is 9-4. They've won the sectional the last 3 years, hoping to, with the state's leading scorer, to, get over the hump and get a regional championship this year. So that will be a tough game. And certainly, I'm not just like, going into the Martinsville game on the girls' side. I said I didn't think Cascade had anybody who could stop or even contain Kaya Traylor, Martinsville's star senior, who's headed for Purdue. I don't think Cascade is anybody who can stop Jalen Moore. Most teams in the state can't. But, it should be an entertaining game, and basketball's a team effort, so if we get a great team effort, who knows, maybe we can pull out the upset. Unlikely we're going to, hold Moore, much below 25, but, if we get a good contribution from everybody and, learn from the mistakes of this game, I wouldn't rule out staying very competitive, because remember, last year we took them down to the wire, and they had Cooper Neese in addition to Moore. So, certainly Cloverdale is the clear favorite of the game, but at the same time, I don't ever want to put limits on these kids, because they might be overmatched, but if they play the perfect game and the chemistry comes together and they get a breakthrough game from a couple of the younger, of the guys who normally don't score a lot, Compliment, Tharp, Walker, we might be able to hang in there, and make a game of it. But unfortunately, you're going to have to make a choice on Tuesday, because that also happens to be the date of the girls' senior day, which is right here against the Avon Lady Orioles. I would love to be out there at Cascade, but I will be here covering the Avon Cascade game, in which we will honor this outstanding class of 7 Cascade seniors of the Bryant triplets, Olivia, Emilia, and Sophia, along with Hannah Rasnick, Trinity Hostetler, Abby Church, and Katie Cleveland. I hope you all will be either out at Cloverdale to support the boys, or out or here at Clayton to support the girls and honor them. It will not be their last home game, because they will be back playing the sectional here on this home floor. But it's the game where they will be honored, and like I said, in the post game of the of their game today, those 7 young ladies, they grew up in this area. They've been playing together since youth basketball for about 10 years now, and given thousands of hours of blood, sweat, and tears, and a few injuries along the way, into this program. And so definitely, I hope we'll get a huge crowd to let them know how much we love and appreciate them, and that we support them as they try to finish the unfinished business that the Lady Cadets have, as they try to, once and for all, slay the demon of last year's sectional loss to South Putnam and get the school's first sectional championship in 11 years. And keep in mind, being that the top two sectional contenders this season in our sectional, other than us, are Cloverdale and South Putnam, both of whom we have beaten. So make no mistake about it, despite losing games the last 2 days, understandably so, as we were playing 3 days in a row, especially after the grueling double overtime win at Cloverdale, we do have a shot to win the sectional. And the boys, not as much, but with Cloverdale being in the sectional, but you never know. You got to aim high, and there are always, a few upsets every year. And, this team has shown me this week that they have some young players who look like they're moving up the ladder and have a chance to step up. And as we've seen with the girls, once, Taylor Norris got in motion, the girls' team got better, and, maybe that'll be the case with, some of these young guys like Bryson Phillips, Mason Tharp, and Benson Walker, among others. So anyway, finally, one final note, as I mentioned earlier in the broadcast, remember that to tune in tomorrow at 1 p.m. to ihsaatv.org. That's ihsaatv.org, where they are going to announce the pairings of the girls' sectionals. So in just about 16 hours, we will know where our Lady Cadets are going to, well, where they're going to be playing here at Cascade, but we're going to find out who and when they're going to play. So, once again, your final score here tonight at Clayton, Indian Creek 64, Cascade 43. And then earlier today in the afternoon game with the girls, Plainfield 41, Cascade 35. The girls dropped to 10. The girls dropped to 9 and 11, and the boys dropped to 5 and 9. Well, this concludes our broadcast. As always, thank you so much for joining me, and I cordially invite you to do so again Tuesday night at 7:15 p.m. for the pregame show as the Cascade Lady Cadets host the Avon Lady Orioles on Senior Day. And don't forget that same night the boys will be out at Cloverdale going against the number one scorer in the state, Jalen Moore. Until we meet again, for audiosportsonline.com, this is Lec Zorn reminding you there is a difference only you can make.